From the Hussman School of Journalism and Media at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, covering the full range of Tar Heel athletics. This is Sports Extra.
From perfect games to imperfect seasons, Carolina athletics has it all.
But in the spirit of Valentine's Day, we're loving all teams regardless of their imperfections.
You're so Julia. Even men's basketball might need a little extra love this weekend. Good morning and happy Valentine's Day. I'm Bethany Pryor.
And I'm Julia Thompson. Welcome to Sports Extra. Last night, the 12th ranked UNC women's basketball team battled Virginia Tech at Carmichael Arena. Graduate guard Lexi Donarski came out hot, draining threes and setting the tone early. The Heels buckled down and their bench went to work. With contributions on both ends of the floor, UNC led by 5 at the half. After the break, graduate guard Grace Townsend attacked the paint. Townsend's downhill speed and high energy were undeniable. Sophomore guard Renaya Kelly came in clutch, drilling a deep three to overcome a late Tech lead. Kelly finished with 20 points, and the Heels held on for the win, 67-62.
It's hard to win, and especially when the momentum's going against you. But these guys just keep finding a way, and that's great. We'll take number 10 and keep it moving.
Now let's toss it over to matchups with Malik to tell us what this win means for the Tar Heels. Molly, what did you see last night?
Julia, last night's win is a testament to the energy of the fourth quarter and the passion that this team has. In the post-game interview, both Kelly and Donarski referenced how the team knew that the pressure was on and it was time to take care of things. They also discussed how Grace Townsend was a key figure in last night's gameplay. Down by 4 with 6.5 minutes left, it's clear that Townsend is ready to do whatever is needed. Townsend's going to bring the ball up, and she has a clear goal as she drives to the basket. But once she enters the paint, it is a game of size. She's up against Rosemary Shaw and Karis Baker, who stand at 6'2", while Townsend herself sits at 5'5". But she has no fear, and she's going to throw it down to bring the Heels up by 2. Townsend's teammates trust her with the ball because she's willing to enter any fight. When the Heels needed it most, Townsend answered. She's quick on her feet and in her mind. But here, she's going to take a quick pause before she quickly accelerates past Mackenzie Nelson, who she's going to beat to the basket and make the shot to put the Heels up by 2 once again. The Hokies were shooting nearly 90% from the line compared to Carolina's 69%. But riding the team's energy, Kelly seals the deal and finishes the game off strong with 2 free throws. Simultaneously, she's going to tie her own personal best score of 20 with her second toss of the game. It is this energy that is going to continue to carry the Heels through the rest of what is so far a very good season. Now that we've checked out last night's D1 women's basketball game, let's take a look at a different basketball team making a mark on campus. I got up close with the women's club basketball team, and I had the opportunity to ask them what's ahead for this season.
The Carolina women's club basketball team is a special community that shares a true love for the game.
Right here is where the women's club basketball team practices every Tuesday and Thursday.
For many, this team is the best way to stay plugged in with their passion.
I really like the girls on the team, and it's really nice to be able to continue playing a sport competitively outside of high school.
The 18-player roster is entirely self-motivated, but led by leadership from Caitlin Dolsky and Claire Polito.
Been here since the start. I think me and Caitlin always envisioned being presidents our senior year, so it's really cool to see that come to fruition. And yeah, we're very close to all the girls in the team. It's like a second family here. And we hope that we can continue this club for years and years to come.
A desirable team culture led to its recent competitive tryouts.
We did pretty good in the fall. We won our home tournament, which was great, but we want to go and win most of the tournaments we can. It's our last semester, so we want to kind of go out with a bang. Heels on me, heels on 3, 1, 2, 3! Heels.
Their goals, commitment, and team camaraderie will be key in their 4 tournaments this semester.
From Rams Head Recreation Center to across the state, the Carolina Women's Club basketball team is one to follow this season.
After a devastating loss at Clemson, the Tar Heels are in New York to take on Syracuse tomorrow. Syracuse is coming off a loss as well, but will still be a tough test for the Heels. If the Heels want to win, Elliot Cadeau and Seth Trimble will have to play lockdown defense to shut down the Orange's top scorers, like J.J. Starling. R.J. Davis needs to come out firing from outside the arc, and Jalen Washington needs to prepare for the tough matchup against Eddie Lampkin Jr. To keep the hopes of making the tournament alive, UNC needs to play their hearts out on Saturday and finally bring a win back to Chapel Hill. With March just around the corner, let's go to our betting expert Dylan Stalter to break down the odds of a UNC tournament win.
Thanks, Bethany. After Monday night's ugly loss against Clemson, it's safe to say that the Heels are on the outside looking in. ESPN's latest bracketology has Carolina among the first 4 teams out of this year's NCAA tournament. Starting the season in the top 10, UNC's postseason odds have dropped to just 29%. While the Tar Heels can always steal an auto bid like NC State did last year, the odds of them winning the ACC tournament is a measly 4%. Luckily for the Heels, it seems like the hardest part of their schedule is behind them. Carolina is favored to win 6 of their last 7 games, including a quad 1 win opportunity at Florida State. There's the daunting task of Duke at the end of the season, but Clemson proved just last week that the Blue Devils aren't invincible. With the Tobacco Road rivalry coming home, anything can happen. Even if the Heels can win out, it looks more and more likely that UNC doesn't control its own destiny. The talent to make a run is there, but they're going to need to catch a break on Selection Sunday.
Let's see if the Tar Heels can beat the odds and make it to March. Thanks, Dylan. UNC's softball team traveled south to face Coastal Carolina on Wednesday night. Kiana Pierce pulled a 2-run single through the right side to make the score 6-2, extending UNC's lead in the second inning. In the third inning, the Heels increased their advantage by 4 runs on a leadoff home run, a sacrifice fly, and an RBI double and single. Coastal pulled it together in the 5th inning, making the score 10-10. Stepping up, the Tar Heels had 3 runs in both the 6th and 7th innings, securing a Carolina win 16-11. The Heels improved to 4-2 on the year. In Game 1 of Thursday's doubleheader against Drexel, Carolina had a clean game with 0 errors and 12 hits. UNC's Alex Coleman opted for a strategic bunt during the 4th inning. Tar Heel pitcher Britton Rogers ended the game with a perfect game and 5 innings pitched, only the 10th time in Tar Heel history. The game ended by mercy rule, Carolina 8, Drexel 0. In Game 2, the Tar Heels dominated Drexel in every aspect of the game. Nikki Harris was on fire in the circle, and Carolina scored an astounding 10 runs in the second, winning decisively 16-1. The Diamond Heels kick off their season today with a home opener against Texas Tech at 4 p.m. The Red Raiders are unranked, but they're definitely a tough first opponent for UNC. The Heels should be ready to face Mac Hewer, Texas Tech's right-hand pitcher from Greensboro, who was on the Big 12 all-freshman team last year. As for the Heels, star pitcher Jason Nakara will need a good showing for UNC to start the season off right.
The Gym Heels are beginning a stretch of 3 meets on the road. Tonight they take on ACC rival Pittsburgh. In last year's matchup against Pitt, the Heels took the dub after winning all 4 events and securing their highest total of the season with a 196.650, with major thanks to Julia Noer. Noer dominated with an impressive performance on bars, but it was her first place winning routines on vault, beam, and floor that helped her land an overall 39.425 points to take the all-around win. The Heels hope she can mimic performances like her 9-9 best floor routine. Noer will look to see if she can bump up last year's performance even further by conquering the bars and taking wins in all 4 events as a major asset to the team. Despite losing standout defenseman Peter Thoman to a season-ending injury, the Tar Heels dominated number 14 Michigan 15-6. But the challenge continues this weekend as UNC faces off against Stony Brook. Offensive powerhouse Owen Duffy and Dominic Petramala have been on fire, each scoring 4 goals against the Wolverines. And with goalie Michael Gianforcaro's stellar debut racking up 12 saves, the Tar Heels defense proved they're still a force to be reckoned with. But can they keep up the momentum? Stony Brook is coming hungry for an upset, looking to make a statement on UNC's home turf. The game is Saturday night at 6. The 3rd-ranked women's lacrosse team is gearing up for a huge matchup as they head to the Sunshine State to take on the 5th-ranked Florida Gators tomorrow at noon. The Tar Heels dominated last weekend, handling number 18 James Madison 14-2 and rolling past Liberty 23-1. A big part of that success has been the impact of their young talent, with redshirt freshman Chloe Humphrey leading the team with 8 goals in just 2 games. Meanwhile, freshman Kate Levy has been a top playmaker, racking up a team-high 5 assists so far. Now Carolina will face their first big test of the season, taking on the undefeated Gators in the Swamp. Now let's take it to our women's lacrosse analyst, Sophia Gray, for Ground Balls with Gray to take a deeper look into our matchup this weekend.
Thanks, Bethany. Carolina women's lacrosse is off to a strong start, beating their first 2 opponents by a combined score of 37-3. But this weekend presents a different challenge as the Tar Heels face their first top 5 opponent, an undefeated Florida team ready to defend their home turf. The Gators made it all the way to the NCAA semifinals last year. Now, they're looking to build on that success and make an even deeper run. As for Carolina, they've been impressive so far, showcasing strength on both ends of the field. With strong depth across the roster, UNC freshman class adapted quickly. Redshirt freshman Chloe Humphrey made her long-awaited debut and did not disappoint, scoring 8 goals her first 2 games of the season. Here we see Chloe's sister, Ashley Humphrey, at X. Now, at this point in time in the game, Carolina is man up and the 8 is very chaotic. So Chloe is going to lose her defender, cut straight through the 8, and fire a bullet into the top left corner. Now, I'm not sure if it's the sister-to-sister connection, but that was a perfectly executed play, the kind the Tar Heels will need to bring with them down to Gainesville. Carolina's defense has been just as dominant, shutting down opponents with aggressive play and smart positioning. Defender Sam Forrest is the first ACC Defensive Player of the Week. The redshirt junior led a Tar Heel defense that was a brick wall. Forrest also scored her first collegiate goal against Liberty. As Carolina heads into this high-stakes matchup with the undefeated Gators, it's clear that their blend of offensive firepower and defensive strength will be key in this crucial early season showdown.
Sophia, how likely is it that the Tar Heels keep their perfect record after this game?
Bethany, I grew up a big Gator fan, and I know how hard it is to play in the Swamp, but Carolina just held a top 20 opponent to 2 goals. So when we consider the talent on the field along with coaching expertise, it's not going to be easy, but I think the Heels will leave Gainesville undefeated.
Sophia, I have full faith that the Heels will bring number 5 down on Saturday.
The UNC men's tennis team is back in action this Saturday, hosting the Citadel at the Tuning Tennis Center. The Tar Heels are looking to bounce back after a tough 4-0 loss at Georgia last weekend. Despite the setback, UNC has been dominant at home and will look to stay undefeated in Chapel Hill. First serve is set for 10 a.m. as UNC looks to get back in the win column. The Carolina wrestling team faces off in a high-stakes match against Virginia tonight while celebrating senior night. Nolan Neves has been an incredible talent for the Tar Heels so far, helping Carolina secure the win in a close matchup against Pitt last week. His teammates Moore, Oakley, Scott, and McNeil also won their matches against Pitt and were crucial to Carolina's 17-16 dramatic victory. Carolina aims to replicate these impressive performances against the Cavaliers.
UNC will be seeing some new faces on the track team this season. Reporter Nicholas Steed talks with one rising track star about his transition from indoor to outdoor.
Sophomore Kathir Balakrishan is a 400-meter hurdler from the West Coast, gearing up to compete in his first indoor track season.
Being from California, I haven't run indoor at all in high school because we never needed to because the weather was good enough.
Kathir's strength is growing in December 2023, which sat him out for what would have been his first ever indoor track season.
Coming back from the injury took a long time. It took a lot of hours in our rehab room where we did a lot of exercises to get my strength back so that I wouldn't get injured back.
With the transition to indoor, Kathir has to adjust to running on a banked 200-meter track.
Being a 400-meter hurdler, moving back indoor has a lot of adjustments. One of them being it's a 200-meter track instead of a 400 track, and another of them being I'm not doing hurdles because they don't have the 400-meter hurdles indoor. Running on the bank track for the first time was a big adjustment because it has a slope on it, so So I had to learn how to position my body better to run faster.
Kathir is looking to excel on the track to prepare himself to attack the 400 hurdles outdoors.
Being able to run indoors for the first time has me super excited, really excited to compete and go to meets, and I'm looking forward to getting in good shape and getting ready for outdoor season.
All right, let's go, Kathir. Heels on me, heels on 3, 1, 2, 3, heels!
I'm Nicholas Steed, reporting.
The men's track team is already off to a great start with multiple NCAA records broken. Kathir and his teammates want more.
Now it's time for our new segment, Star Heel Status, where we recognize Carolina athletes excelling in competition and in the classroom.
First, we have Nolan Neves, the Atlantic Coast Conference's Wrestler of the Week. Additionally, 7 of his teammates were ranked in the second NCAA coaches rankings for the 2025 NCAA Championships. The group is led by Lachlan McNeil at number 5 in the 149 weight class.
Next up is gymnastics freshman Jojo Valahovic, who is ACC Newcomer of the Week for the 2nd consecutive week.
In fencing news, redshirt senior Sophia Kovacs is the ACC Women's Fencer of the Week.
And for the rowing team, Kate McBride, Lindsay Tofgerben are on the 2025 First Stars Network On the Rise Spring Watch List.
UNC divers Lainey Gutch and Rodolfo Vasquez Montano are ACC Divers of the Week after impressive performances at the Virginia Tech Invite, with Gutch earning 3 top 10 finishes and Vasquez Montano qualifying for 2 zones ahead of the ACC Championships. The swim and dive team is a Scholar All-America team for the fall 2024 semester, with the women's team setting a program record with a 3.63 GPA and the men's team earning a 3.17 GPA.
6 of our men's soccer players are on the 2024 All-ACC academic team, with Juan Cafaro and Sam Williams earning their 2nd consecutive academic honors.
And for our reigning national championship team, 11 members of the women's soccer team are all on the All-ACC academic team. On top of these impressive academic honors, Avon Alvarez and fellow freshman Hope Munson are on the U.S. Under-19 women's national team for the Women's International Tournament in Spain.
Be sure to tune in on Monday to see if any of these star heels are in the running for Play of the Week. Now, speaking of Plays of the Week, Bethany, I heard there's open tryouts for football. Are you going to try out?
Julia, I might have to. I mean, my brother plays football, and my dad taught me as a little kid when we would throw the ball around, but I don't know if I'm going to make it on the next Star Heels board.
I have faith in you. You're going to be up there. Don't you worry about that. But that does it for this edition of Sports Extra.
We'll be back on Monday with all the highlights from another exciting weekend of Carolina athletics.